Check.
Yo. This is your boy Ron, and this is Leroy Green. This is another episode of the Weekend Rhyme. Sorry we're a little late today. It's been a crazy day, brother. I've been out doing domestic things, man. I've been cleaning the garage all day. Sorry if I look dirty. This probably is the dirtiest looking I'll ever be on an episode, man. I've been in the garage since Friday, working, man, and I've been getting the garage clean, man. I should have took a picture and shared it with y'all, man. But yeah, man. But also on another note, this is the best I felt in, man, maybe about a month or two, man. I went to the doctor last week. They did some tests on your brother. You know, as you get older in age, make sure I want to tell everybody in the audience, especially brothers that look like us, make sure you get your examinations, man. They got the prostate exam. Everything came back yesterday, looked good. All my vitals look good. They did say I need to, I'm kind of, my sugar is a little high, so I need to bring my glucose down a little bit, work on my diet, exercise. But the damn garage was a workout, so I feel good, man. So this is the best I felt on an episode in a very long time. So all my people that's in the chat, the people that be hating me, or hate my takes, maybe my takes will be better because I'm feeling good. Shout out to Michael Brown. Shout out to Leonard Washington. You know what I'm saying? The people that love us, that watch us, but they're critical of my takes. I've been feeling bad, but maybe now that I'm in great health, the diagnostics came back, the blood work came back, maybe I'll be better. But man, Leroy, enough of me talking, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing awesome. You know what I mean? Depending on how it goes, I show up in peace, but sometimes you got to go there. You know what I mean? So I'm here for both. I'm glad you're doing good. Health is super important. I was recently listening to Fonte. Fonte on his last album, he had a song, something about genes. I can't recall the title specifically, but he had the word genes in it. But it was basically about health, and that's important. You gotta check in with your doctor, make sure everything is operating the way it's supposed to be operating. He gonna let you know the good, the bad. Hopefully it's all good. You know what I mean? For most of us, you go to the doctors, it's all good. So that's a blessing in itself, man. When you go to the doctor and they're like, "Nah, man, you good," that's a blessing in itself. You know what I mean? So
it's a blessing, man, and I'm so happy that we are able to. Man, my wife calling me, man. I don't know what she want, but we're having a great, we're gonna have a great episode tonight, man. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna talk about Benny the Butcher, Summertime Butch. We're gonna talk about. I see Super Duper in there saying that it ain't like that. It's another step back.
Expensive.
We're gonna talk about Logic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you talk about Logic because I'm not a big Logic fan, so I'm not gonna get on this thing in front. If somebody put a challenge to me and say, "Yo, I got $1 million if you name 5 Logic songs," I'd be done.
Maybe my thing is this, man. We're gonna get into it, but are people listening to music or are they just judging the rapper? You know what I mean? It's like, are you listening to the sound of the music? If it sounds like hip hop, what are we talking about?
I just didn't get a chance to listen to it. I did listen to Benny. I did listen to and I see Mad Max is already starting already. I did listen to Lotto. I listened to Lotto.
Dope.
Because Lotto's from Georgia. She's from Atlanta, so I gotta represent. But I do have a soft spot. But I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. I do have a soft spot for Lotto, not because of the obvious, because Hold on one second. But cook up on Logic real quick while I take.
No. Lotto's cool. Lotto's cool. I didn't get a chance to hear the album. Before I get, Logic dropped the whole album, so I got a whole bunch of notes for the whole album. You know what I'm saying? But just first, I want to start off with, we've been talking about adult contemporary rap. Ninth Wonder and Q-Tip got into the conversation. I think they really agree more than disagree on the larger point. But the first thing I want to, bar I want to say should have you is hip hop. Usually people call it a youth-driven culture, youth-driven music. Now I feel like it's not that. Now I feel like the elder statesmen have been driving long enough, in the current era. Also the rappers that are in their 30s, 40s, they've been driving this vehicle for quite some time now. So I think we're already there. as far as a division between that crew, I don't think it should be looked at as a division between older and younger. And I'm making a point about the Logic thing. I don't think it should be looked at as a older versus younger. I think it should be looked at as just a the older crop of MCs looking out for the younger MCs, right? Like still putting out music, still putting out quality music, and showing a pathway that the youth can follow. So that's a bar. You know what I mean? We're talking about bars and, you know, in the pod space. That's a bar. But, you know, earlier this year we had Master Ace. We had Gang Green. We had Mock Hami, Blue and Ev, Freeway, Common, Rakim. You know, these aren't like young guys. Benny the Butcher, Logic. You know, this is not the young crew. You know what I mean? So it's important. And I think that it could be looked at as a positive. Still here, you mentioned the LL song with Saweetie. I appreciate the song. You know, it's LL Cool J. You know, he's ladies love Cool J, so that's his bag. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's an important bag. I'm gonna start with Benny because you did hear the Benny, you just didn't hear the Logic, right?
I heard the Benny. I like the Benny. Shout out to my dude Super Duper. I want to make an announcement. We're all gonna open up the lines tonight. Okay. We got people wanting to call in. We're gonna bring that element back to the show. I think that's very important. Yeah, you know, because they can hear us talk all night, but it's according to hip hop, so it's about the people giving their perspective. So we're gonna open these lines up in a minute. But I did hear the Benny. The Benny was cool. It was what I expected from Benny. Did it blow me away? Was it like something that was like, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread? No, but it was a typical Benny album. I like Benny. Right. I like how Benny, you know, Benny gives you his perspective. There's a lot of dope rap. There's a lot of mafioso rap. It's a lot of, you know, stories about Buffalo, how they did a game out there. He also had some other joints where he was talking about how he was trying to become, you know, the best in the business, right? How he was linking up with Cole, tapping into that mindset and taking the craft to another level. He also talked about his travels, you know what I'm saying? That was something that kind of West Side gunning, you know, talking about he went to, you know, overseas to Europe and copped a Hublot instead of a Rolex. You know what I'm saying? He's talking that talk, you know. So I liked it. I mean, I liked the skits. You know, the skits. One of the skits was she was like, you know, brothers is wearing crop tops. She was like, can we get our crop tops back? I know y'all got the man purses. Y'all got the man purses. Y'all telling each other y'all love each other or whatever. Can we get that back? I like that. That was a funny skit. But I thought the album was cool. I got 3/4 through Lotto. I have more comments to talk about that, but the Logic, man. Tell me about the Logic.
All right. I can't project. It were, you know, but the Logic. So to me, now granted, I've only heard this record you know, probably like 2.5 times because it just came out, y'all. It came out on Friday. But it might be album of the year, man. Now I do like Logic. I know a lot of people don't like Logic. Because I hear a lot of people saying what they don't like. I'm not interested in what you don't like. Tell me what you do like. I'm a hip hop head. I'm not a hip hop head. I'm not a popular opinion guy. My opinion is my own. It's original. That's what makes me hip hop. So we look for things that people do that are different. What I like about Logic in his music is it's purely unadulterated hip hop a lot of the times. There are no ulterior motives musically in a lot of his songs other than to make good hip hop, right? He you know, some people would say, okay, he's corny. I get that. I see the argument there, but I'm not trying to hang out with Logic, right? We're not here to hang out with Logic. We're here to listen to his music. So I'm judging purely off the music. Song 1 of this album, everybody is dead on song 1. Every other album, every other song, everything that everybody's been doing, he just wiped them off the board in song 1. He could have stopped there, and it could have just been one song, album over, because everybody died on that one song. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that, you know, it'll be. I'm saying in my ears it might be album of the year, but I realize that the year is still going. You know, we're not close to the end of the year, but But so the first song was called Paul Rodriguez. You know, what I mean, the skateboarder, right? The album is a concept album. He's also got a book that goes with the album. This goes into a little bit of sci-fi, right? How many of you have seen the movie Interstellar? So if you've seen the movie Interstellar, you kind of you get the plot there, right? Remember the plot, and you remember the robot, right? The robot that accompanies the astronauts that are looking for new Earths, right? So if you've seen that movie, you kind of get the plot there. But I do think that is a lane, artists that write all these lyrics. You do have what I think it takes to be authors, right? Because you're writing so many rhymes and different concepts that if you wanted to make your albums into books, that's a lane. It's a very important lane that I think we should investigate. You know what I mean? What to say, Leroy, the same guy that's mad that everyone doesn't like Lupe. I don't think we have to like rappers. We listen to their music. We don't know them personally to like them, right?
Oh,
I mean,
that's very interesting, Leroy. We'll get into that on another show, but it's very interesting.
It's
very interesting because rappers could be synonymous with other people that's in the public sphere. We don't really know them, but people just like them. Sometimes people hate them. Never met them. Don't know them. They just know what we're told about them. But let's get to the super chat real quick. King21 says Primo, Alchemist, and Hit Boy are all on the Big Sean's album. Big Sean's album, Big Sean's one of those artists that's like, oh man, what tier is he on? What tier is he on? And I get in trouble when I put him on the tier, but he's on that. He might be a step above Wale. He might be a step above. He might be in the ASAP Rocky tier. He may be in the Rick Ross tier. He may be in the 2 Chainz tier. He may be. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. We got to do like a tier system, right? There's a guy.
Tier.
I do Nick Wright. Nick Wright on FS1.
Yeah.
He has these quarterback tier rankings, right? Number 1 tier, number 2, 3, 4, 5. We might need to do something like that for hip hop. Like, what tier is Big Sean on? But that's a pretty heavy rose. Sally Ghost from the shout out with the Euros, got them Euros. You know what I'm saying? Production on a new JPEG Mafia is crazy. As a rapper, he's still mid. I have not heard that. Have you heard the JPEG Mafia joint?
I have heard that. And earlier this show, you said the Benny is something that you expected, which this is not a shot at you. This is just, from my standpoint, I tend to give credit to what's not expected. So if I listen to a project and it's not what I expected, that's kind of what I like more than you giving me something that I did expect. When it comes to like a Lupe, I think everyone should know what Lupe does. That's why it's surprising to me when people think Lupe should do something different. You don't make Tetsuo Youth, Drogas Waves, Drill Music in Zion, House. You don't make these kind of records if you're trying to fit in with everybody. You make these kind of records when you're trying to be in your own box. As far as tier goes, Big Sean, I think he's at the top tier. The big three we would consider the top tier, right? Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, right? So I think that's of the same generation, Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. And I think Big Sean is right there. I don't, can he be more successful, sell more records? I'm sure he can, but just the overall aesthetic of the music, the class that he's in, I think he's right. He's right there. If anything, just a step below them, if anything, so.
Yeah. I again, we got to do a whole show when we talk about the tiers, because somebody in the chat, I don't know who it was, man. It was somebody from maybe the motherland. So I didn't know what the hell I was talking about because I said Lupe, not Lupe, but Big Sean wasn't like that. I didn't say he wasn't like that. I said he just didn't break through. He was more of the Walean, ASAP Rockian type of deal. You know what I mean? He just didn't break through. And they're really the self-proclaimed big three. Like Drake, Drake said him, Kendrick, and J. Cole the big three. Maybe that is the case. It's been very quiet on the J. Cole front. You know, I was expecting that the fall off would have been here by now, but maybe the fall off will come in the fall. How apropos would that be? He said he had 2 classics on Might Delete Later. He said he had 2 classics ready to go. But you know,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if the album's going to be different because in his future run, you know, all the way back to Bia with London.
Shout out to Bia.
With Bia with London, and then he had that joint with Yachty. Then he had a joint with Benny. Then he had First Person Shooter. J. Cole was talking that talk. So I don't know if he can still talk that talk. But quiet is kept. His verse on that Future and Metro Boomin song was like Red Bottoms. That verse was crazy. A lot of people don't even know he had a verse on that joint on the second on I Still Don't Trust You. His verse on that joint was crazy. I mean, I still it Might Delete Later is not a bad project. I mean, the diss record was okay, but it's not a bad record. I mean, it's not a bad project. So I think I'm still holding out hope for J. Cole. Kendrick, let's not go to Kendrick yet. Let's talk about the man that's been out. Let's talk about what it is. You know what I'm saying? Drake came back outside. Drake is outside again, man. Did you hear the Drake records?
Yes, I heard the Drake records. I'm not surprised. Again, we're gonna have to get back to the Logic, but because I have some other places to go. But Drake, I'm not surprised he's gonna rap. I mean, a battle doesn't mean he's gonna just stop rapping. People like act like he was supposed to go in the house. I don't know why he would do that. So the records was cool. I don't think there was a shot at K. Dot from 21 Savage. I think he was just getting his bars off. The record was cool. He did drop 100 gigs worth of content. I'm cool with that. I didn't watch a whole bunch of Drake content, but I get the play, and I think that artists should let the fans into their creative process, into the background of their music, how they create. You know, I'm all right with that. So, you know, I get it. I think it's cool.
Before you get back to Logic, I heard the 3 records that came out. One was like more of a like a grime type record. You know what I mean? It had that Caribbean flavor to it, that patois type flow. I thought that was cool. The one with 21 Savage was dope. And Quiet is Kept. I think 21 Savage and Drake. We might need to do a ranking of Drake's best collaboration. I think him and 21 have great chemistry. I thought the record was cool, but I was feeling good. Like at the beginning of the show, I felt great. I wanted to go get a drink last night, and I went out. You know, I didn't go in my neighborhood because I ain't got nothing in my neighborhood. I had to go out a little bit to Marietta. Actually, a little bit further.
I'm gonna have to come to your neighborhood, man. Not to cut you, but I'm gonna have to come.
My neighborhood ain't got nothing in it, so I had to go somewhere else. I had to go I had to go a little bit to like Marietta, or whatever. And I heard the Drake record with Lotto. And you know, I think that record, you know, apart from if we're taking it in a vacuum and this record existed without the Kendrick beef and without the scrutiny of Drake right now, I think that record would be big. But people are vibing to it. You know, it's not my cup of tea, it's for the ladies. But again, I think him and Lotto have great chemistry. I think he should continue to tap into that. But the record, people were vibing to the record. It felt like people weren't thinking about none of the Kendrick stuff. When I was just watching at the bar, just drinking, I was watching just the energy of it. And I like to go hear the energy of the records, right? I like to see how people are responding. People are responding to the Drake and Lotto record. And it was just like a little vibe. You know, like, again, I'm not listening to it. I'm aged out of that, but it was nice to see.
You get it. Yeah.
It was nice to see. You know, and I again, Drake did what he needed to do. That's like my question is like, what do people expect from Drake, right? Drake is doing these songs that Drake leaked, quote unquote leaked, put out on purpose. What do y'all expect? They sound like Drake songs. They sound like what he's always done for the past 15, 16 years. So it just is what it is. But you know, I'm looking in the chat. They say Kendrick leaked some music. I haven't heard that yet. Is Kendrick?
As far as what Drake does, I didn't hear the Kendrick thing either, but it's like I think the songs with a song with Lotto, right? That's a cheat code. Like that's a cheat. I don't know why Benny. I like the record Summertime Shootouts. It was, I mean, Summertime Butch. It reminds me of a kind of a Summertime Shootouts from Fab, but here's the difference. Fab knows how to make summertime music for summertime shootouts, and he has a lot of female records. There is nothing wrong with female records. LL Cool J, he just did one with Saweetie. Now, again, we're men, we like bars, we like street content. So the records aren't directed at us, but the records directed at women are a cheat code. I know we don't want to admit that. We don't want to like that. We have an issue with that. But those records are going to work. They're going to get some engagement, y'all, because they're for.
No, I don't think people got an issue with it, because in the history of rap, there's always been like records that cater to the females, right? You had LL, of course. You had Jay, doing songs with Foxy. You had Nas doing, You Owe Me with Genuine. You had you had 50. 50 took it to another level. 50 kind of did like took the LL, thing and kind of took it to another level. LL, because 50 already had the street with the mixtapes, right? He was already giving you that street content, right? But he also had the songs for the lady, like, song with Little Kim, The Candy Stick. He had 21 Questions. He had what's the song called? Best Friend with Olivia. He had even Baltimore Love Thing, when he's talking about, I think it's on the Massacre, when he's talking about, in the perspective of being like a dope fiend, and he's talking about a female, you know what I'm saying? It's still a female type record, you know what I'm saying? And he had a song with, I didn't like the AOA Technology with Justin Timberlake. That wasn't a good record. But he always had
what I'm saying,
I want to get to know you.
We know those records work. You know what I mean? Those records
they work. And Lloyd Banks had them female records too. Well, let me get to the super chat real quick. Ill Magic says, I don't know, man. That Logic album might be a winner for the best rap album on my list. Rhapsody is still up for album of the year, and hip hop album of the year. Man, listen, I got to go back to the lab. I'm like I said, I've been at the doctor's, and I've been working in the garage. I didn't get a chance to listen to Logic, but I'm on Monday. If you do a show on Wednesday, I'll address that. But Leroy, people are saying you might be right, bro.
Logic, first of all, are we fans of Dilla? Are we fans of Kanye? Are we fans of chopping records in a certain particular way? Do we have a producer's ear for chopping dope beats? What do you think you're getting with Logic? He's a student. He's from that cloth. And we're talking about rapping, and people say he's a try-hard. I prefer rappers that try to be dope. Why not? Yeah, I know that they mean try hard in a way that's negative. And I get what you're saying, right? But I think rappers should try to be dope. You know what I mean? And he does that. And when I put on a Logic record, I can just sit back and let the record play, and it's just hip hop. This is Vinyl Days. I don't know if y'all remember Vinyl Days. That was dope. This is No Pressure. That was dope. Not every album he has is dope, but when he's on his hip hop thing, it's dope. Ultra 85 is beautiful. Now I know some people, they're like he has a thing about him being biracial. And he jokes about it now, right? When he talks about it now, just to let you know, he's trolling. So he knows that you're annoyed with him talking about his biracial, but he's trolling. But there are some things there, right? He talks about anxiety on the album. He talks about dealing with mental health, the pressures of being an artist, and just being biracial, right? We have to stop making someone's race an attack. Right now, people like Kamala's not black. Kamala's not black. Now, I'm not going to get too far off into politics, right? But if we're gonna, I can't hear you, Ron. I can't hear you. But if we're gonna get into politics, right? Let's speak about things that we know are a fact. Let's start there. We know that she's black. Now, she may not be the blackest person in the room. She's biracial, but we know that one of her parents is black. We know she was the president of the Law Review Association at Howard, also part of the Black Congressional Congress. People, you can't just get in these circles if you're not smart. I know.
Really, are they paying you to? Are they paying? The Democrats paying you?
I'm not telling no one what to think. I'm telling if
I'm joking. I'm joking, bro. I'm joking.
no, I'm not telling no one what to think.
I'm joking. I listen.
And
Shout out to my uncle Chris and my aunt Nikki. We be having text messages and we've had this discussion. I have my own view, which I won't share on this platform, but hold on, this is him right here. Hold on one second. But you know,
excuse me.
Again, I just want to point out to San Francisco is not in a great place right now.
Hold on, that's hometown, man. That's hometown. Hold on.
I've seen it.
Larry June, dope album.
Hold on one second.
But again, I'm not talking about the policies or the conditions. I'm talking about just like when Logic, if he says he's half black, we don't have to always just focus in on race. We can just listen to the music and trust that if he says he's half black, he's half black. It's that's the main point of I'm just gonna start there. You know what I mean? When we talk about race, when we talk about culture, we have to realize that not everything is cut and dry. Not everything is this and that is that. We have a lot of families with people from all over the world, man. But just in terms of a certain mentality also with when I brought up with Kamala, I just want to point out that these certain kind of circles you can't get in because you're an idiot or because you look.
Listen, I don't want to talk about this lady. I mean, let me get to the super chat. We really need to give Logic credit for how you brought a little bit. Ill Magic with the super chat says we really need to give Logic credit for how you brought the sci-fi genre into this full discography. Yes. I think Leroy, you mentioned that, making it a part of this style. So yeah, you did mention that, but before you mention that,
yes,
I really ain't interested, like I said, in talking about.
I'm done with it. Yeah,
I'm gonna give her a proper title, Vice President Harris. I don't feel like talking about her. I've got my own opinions about it. People got their own opinions about it. All I can tell you is that I've been to San Francisco years ago, back in 2012, 13, 14, and I saw how bad it was back then. I hear it's even considerably worse now. People are leaving California and they're moving to Atlanta, they're moving to Tennessee, they're moving to Florida, they're moving to Texas. If the policies were so great, and it's not a political show, the policies were so great and things were working so great, why are people leaving California in droves? Because obviously the people that are in charge, like the person you named and other people, obviously are not getting the job done. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, 1 + 1 is 2. But like I said, if my house was falling apart, and then I said I'm going to move and I want to get a new house, how the hell can I manage a new house? And my house that I have currently is falling apart, is deteriorating, and people are leaving. This doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm from the crack era. When crack came through San Francisco, the dynamics changed. That's my opinion, being from the crack era, right? The 80s era and going into the 90s. So that's my opinion. But policy, I prefer people go there. Now we could leave the topic, but policies are very complex. Also keep in mind that a person cannot wear all their thoughts on their shoulder, on their sleeves in politics. They speak in code and they speak in unity. So what I'm saying is, they talk about everybody because they can't say this is this and that is that, because voting is and politicking is part of that. No, but I like where you're going because you mentioned the word policy, which lets me know you're thinking about what's written on paper. We got to stop thinking about whether we like these people. This goes for Logic too. We don't have to like Logic. What is on the album? That's policy. We're talking about what is he wrote down as rhymes, not whether we like him or dislike. So I'm glad that you went there as far as focusing on the.
So cook up on Logic.
Yeah. So yeah, someone mentioned the sci-fi aspect. Dude, dope lane, man. I think we should go there. There is a thing called Afrofuturism that I think we should explore. If someone has a beat that kind of sounds that way, they would like to send me, I'll send something back. But I think we should explore that genre. So the first song, Paul Rodriguez, that's a legendary skateboarder. That song, it's 10 minutes long or 9 minutes and some change. He's just rapping like he's just going crazy, just barring up. The beat, dope. The next song, Mission Control, which was the single, dope. Deja Vu, he's talking about the anxiety, he's talking about family over rap. That was dope again. Fear, the next song has a Pharrell-esque, Will.I.am-esque type of vibe. I like that. Favela has a Jazzy Jeff type of vibe. Jazzy Jeff, I'm a big fan of Jazzy Jeff's production. Ghost in the Machine sounds like a No ID. If you're a student of No ID and how he's putting together his loops in a progressive fashion or a sort of a off-kilter fashion, then you kind of see Logic as a student in that realm, right? With Logic rhymes and beats, the production is really what I like with Logic stuff. What you say, Super Duper, making me wanna not listen to Logic. Well, don't listen. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't like something, I'm a hip hop head, so I speak to people that are what a hip hop head is they search for music to listen to. A lot of people, I think you're just mad at life. Not you, Super Duper, particularly, but I think a lot of people you're just miserable. So you just hate. You wake up, you're a hater. Like, your job is to be a hater. And
I don't know about that, Leroy.
I know. I'm speaking for me, and really, there's a certain energy that y'all don't want me to focus in on, because if I did, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But a hip hop head they search for something new, something that they don't always hear, right? So, but if you're not that way, don't listen to the albums I talk about, because obviously I'm not talking about the albums that the mainstream deem as most pertinent. I'm talking about albums for hip hop heads. This is why I'm me, and the other people in the space are them. We are not the same. We're not so Interstellar, I talked about that movie that plays into the album. He's talking about the artist struggle, the perspective of that. Teleport, dope concept. Teleport is basically like he's teleporting for different ages of his life, different things going on. Antidote, I call it Backpack Trap. That's what it sounds like. I'm gonna end it there because the album at that point it kind of starts to I won't say downhill, but the vibe changes into a more singy song type of cadence and delivery. And, it goes off into that, and then it ends shortly thereafter. But if you are a hip hop head, which most people are not, you're cosplaying. People are cosplaying as hip hop heads when you're not hip hop heads. You are casual listeners of mainstream rap, trying to be a part of hip hop heads, you know what I mean? But if you're a hip hop head, this is the album for that, you know what I mean? So, and he's rapping his butt off. We have to get into looking at what the artist intends to do, right? So I like the album. Larry June, he makes music. He intends to do a certain thing. We're talking about San Francisco. San Francisco is chill. They're chilling. It's player culture. It's relaxed. They relax in San Francisco. So the music, it sounds like it relax by the water, chill. Napa Valley wine, chill. So every artist has their thing. And Logic, I think he masterfully pulls off just that pure hip hop. And I think, and from my ears, we may be feeling like, I feel personally like this may be album of the year thus far. And if the first song doesn't back up what I'm saying for you, then maybe this ain't for you. And that's
so you got this album over the Pete in Common?
Yes, yeah, but it's close, very close.
You got it over Rhapsody, you got it over Samurai Lupe, you got it over you got it over my man. You said Crooked Eye and my man, what's my man name?
That's a good one. Joel Ortiz.
Joel Ortiz had a joint.
That's a good.
It's better than that.
That's a good one. But I will give.
It's better than Vultures too.
Come on, man. Stop, man. Come on. But yeah, yes. I mean, but again, though, I went into it as kind of a Logic fan already. So it's kind of like I'm already there. And I wasn't always a Logic fan. I used to like really not like his music. And over time, I can hear him making improvements, right? I can hear him trying to be better at just how he's delivering the beats, the rhymes. So, and over time, I saw the improvement and I liked it, and now I like it.
I'm embarrassed. As one of the co-founders of According to Hip Hop, I want to ask the chat: should my hip hop pass be revoked if I can't name 5 Logic songs? I just can't name. I can't name 5 Logic songs. I just can't. I mean, maybe my pass should be revoked. I don't know. I just can't. You know, I'm just not. I'm just not, you know, it's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
Bro,
I'm gonna go back and listen to it. And
I'm rappers. We can't listen to everybody. So if you didn't listen to Logic, I don't blame you. There's a lot of rappers. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you know,
you know, it is what it is, man. So Logic, I got some homework to do. We talked about Benny the Butcher. Again, I like Benny.
Yeah,
I know my guy. Shout out my guy Pierre, South Carolina. He met Benny at the Lock show in Atlanta a couple weeks. Me and my uncle went. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to my aunt Nikki. They hooked us up with some tickets for According to Hip Hop. We went to the show, and I didn't even know my dude Pierre. I grew up with Pierre. He was at the show. He met Benny. Benny's always been a stand-up dude. You know what I'm saying? He's always been accessible. You know what I'm saying? He's not a type of artist that's just like removed from the element. Like he'll talk to the bloggers, he'll talk to the podcasters, he'll talk to the new media. So shout out to Benny. The project was cool. Like again, I like the skits, I like the interludes, I like the records. It was just a Benny project. It was, and I'm hoping that Benny. I want to see another Griselda effort, man. I want to see another.
That's
him, West Side, and you know what I'm saying, Conway come together and do something. That's what I want to see.
That's coming.
I think that would be. I think they're better. I think they can make some music together collectively. That'd be really, really dope. Because the last West Side project that I enjoyed was 10. I didn't like the new one. You know what I'm saying? The most recent one, but 10 was dope. So I think West Side, Benny, and Conway, because the last Conway album was okay. It wasn't like, you know, still. I'm about to open the phone lines up at 8:30. I'm going to open the phone lines up at 8:30.
Well, hold on. We got more music to get through, a little bit more, because
what we got to get into.
I'll make it quick. The Benny the Butcher thing, I like the record, right? But Benny, who I called 97 Hove only because of his song 97 Hove, I think Benny has a lot of range, right? There were a lot of dope rappers. What I mean is like that rap about hustling, right? But there is a certain attention to detail with Benny's music, right? Which I've always enjoyed, and that was his calling card when he came in the game. My thing is this, and this is the same thing I said about Everybody Can't Go bar, which, you know, we're talking about bars and people taking bars. So, but after you have already proven musically that you are a thorough street individual based on authenticity and experience, I think it's okay to leave that space. And if you're going to make summertime music, to actually lean in all the way. After 97 Hove, Jay-Z leaned in all the way into mainstream music, and we got Volume 2. Now, Volume 2 is not for everybody. Obviously, he was on a mission to expand his brand, and I know that Benny wants to expand his brand with the Black Sopranos. I know that's part of the plan. So I think there's a little reluctancy to lean into commercial rap, but Benny is one I think that could seamlessly do it and still be authentic as a young Hove was. I don't think if Benny leans into mainstream music that we're going to be looking at him sideways. We know where Benny comes from. We know what Benny represents. We know he's authentic and he's thorough. So I don't think there's no problem with going that way. So since it was called Summertime Butch, I would have liked to hear summertime music, and some of it does lean that way, but it was really just like, um, what he would usually do. As far as mixtape goes, as far as the street content, what he would usually, and I'm anxious to hear him go in a different route. He did have a lot of slick bars on there. You know what I mean? But at one point he said, I need a crib big as Michael Jackson's. I could fit the crowd in. Like, to be on that level, you got to lean into that mainstream, brother, and you got to not, don't be afraid about us losing your core fan base. I think the core is going to follow you into the mainstream. So
no doubt. Let me do the super chat real quick. And shout out to everybody sending super chats. It's really important to make the platform grow. It helps us out, elevate, expand, do new shows. CJ Kid with the super chat says, did Wayne send a subliminal to Drake with wearing the XO chain in the Yachty video? I'm not sure. I did not see the Yachty video. Did you see the Yachty video? I did not see it.
I did not, man. So I have to check it out, man. But
so on Monday or Wednesday's show, we will look at that and see if and why would I guess the bigger question would, why would Wayne send a subliminal to Drake? Are they not rocking with each other no more? I thought they were. I think Drake got a tattoo of Wayne on his body, so I would think that they would be. They would be locked in, you know what I'm saying? And they really made great music together. I mean, again, we can have a whole show about who's Drake's best best collaborations. Is it Ross? I think Ross and him have over 30 records together. Is it 21? Is it Future? Is it Wayne? Is it Nicki? Is it Sexy Red? Is it 2 Chainz? Is it The Weeknd? I mean, who's Drake's best collab? I mean, I would say right now, him and 21 have the most recent chemistry. I think him and 21 make the best collab. But him and Ross, they were dope for their time. But
yeah. I mean, to be honest, if they were to actually do a record or album or whatever, I think probably Wayne would probably be his best partner in collaboration, only because when you have Drake, you have somebody who is multi-talented and going in a bunch of different directions. So you kind of would want somebody that is equally that skilled. I feel like Ross is dope. I feel like 21 is dope, but to find someone that can pull off 10 different flows in the manner of 3 songs, you need a certain type of skill level to do that. And I think maybe a Wayne and Drake probably would make a little bit more sense. But I do appreciate that Drake put out the 100 gigs and people could see behind the scenes. This man works, man. You know what I mean? I think people they think that someone else is writing all his bars. I think Drake has the ability to write his own bars. You know what I mean? But he also has the ability to collaborate. That also means ghostwriting. There was another, I think it was Joe Button or someone was talking about ghostwriting. I do think that is part of the game as well. If you want to be a Logic or you want to be a Lupe, your concern is, I want to be the best MC. Well, then don't use ghostwriters. If your concern is, I want to be a rap star, I want to be famous, I want to be, well, you may need to talk to some writers. Just a suggestion, you know what I mean? But, just my opinion. But Drake and Wayne, I think makes
again, a lot of people are saying different things about Drake, that he should go away. Okay. But I don't understand what that means, because Drake has never went away. Somebody said to me the other day that Drake needs to go chill and make people miss him, but Drake never did that. Drake doesn't make the type of music where people will miss. I mean, he's not a Nas, he's not a Jay-Z. Drake's always about output and keeping his finger on the pulse and keeping these records going for someone. I mean, for 15 years, he's been doing the same thing. I just think this beef has changed a lot of perception. And I want to say one thing. The same people that are hating on Drake, a Canadian outsider, what else? Canadian outsider, was raised in Canada. They seem to be supporting someone else who was also raised in Canada, might have some mixed ingredients, if you understand what I mean. But they don't say nothing about that. They all in on that, but they hating on Drake. I don't get it, man. CJQ with the super chat says, all the white party, Wayne and Drake were there, but did not speak to each other. Then Wayne sent sublims possibly on the Corday record. Then he did a song with Ross, so it's been a track record. I mean, that's unfortunate. And and if that's the case that Wayne and Drake are isolated, that would be it's bad for Drake. You know what I'm saying? He's on an island onto himself. I know Mike D had always asked, why is Lil Wayne not stepping into this beef? There could be some animosity. I know I know Kendrick mentioned on his record, Tammy Torres, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to speak on people. I don't know what their situations, but it seems like Drake had some dealings with her. And then if you listen to 6'7", the record with Lil Wayne, said I had my heart broken by a woman named Tammy, but woe's gonna be woes, so I couldn't blame Tammy. Seemed like he had a soft spot in his heart for Tammy while he was in prison.
Yeah.
Drake circled the block on her. I don't know if that's still the thing, but I mean, my man got a tattoo of this man's on his body. So you would think they should be copacetic, but I guess they're not, man. But anyway,
I could see that. You know, you go to jail and somebody creeps around your girl. I could see that, but that one kind of threw me off. threw me off, but I could see that. But as far as the beef of Wayne not wanting to step in beef, and I just say this because Sean, people were talking about Sean backing out of the beef for weeks. People have been talking about Cole backing out of the beef. I don't blame people for not wanting to be in beef. Like the people that want beef or look for beef, I question if they've ever really had it. Because if you want beef, I don't know how serious your beef is. As far as the rappers not wanting to engage in battle, I could see why they wouldn't want to do that. Now, we're from an era where you accept all battles, right? Or you just battle it out, right, with everybody. But I do think there is a certain level of camaraderie with the group that we're talking about because they do know each other. I mean, they do have their phone numbers. They do have contacts in the different crews. They have the road together. So they're not exactly strangers to each other. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if your friend or someone who you thought was an associate wants to beef with you one day, I can see how maybe you're like, nah, I don't want to entertain that just because you feel like you kind of know the person. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Hey, I need everybody right now to hit like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to our channel. It really helps out. Hit the like button. That really helps us out a lot. Again, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Really, we're building our own platform. That's an announcement coming soon. We're getting off YouTube. So we're gonna have our own ecosystem soon. But if we get to 100,000 on YouTube, we'll get the money to do our festival, According to Hip Hop Festival, and all the artists that we want to see will be there, and also all our day one folks that's been rocking with us since the beginning. I mean, some people think that YouTube was the beginning of According to Hip Hop. It wasn't. Back to 2010, 2009. You know what I'm saying? All those folks will be invited to the festival. But we got to get the 100,000 subscribers. With that like button, and subscribe, your super chats, they all make a difference. So I appreciate it. CJ Kid with the super chat says, so Gambino and Wayne have been added to the Rap Avengers. Jesus.
Rap Avengers. Okay.
I mean, it's interesting that so many people are going at Drake.
Right.
And I want to point out something else. Last week on Monday, maybe it was a week ago, I had put in the thumbnail. We didn't really talk on it much. I said that Drake will return. And then Tuesday, the leak happened. So all my haters, you think that's coincidence, or you think I don't get on here just to be talking.
Right.
I hear things in the ether. So
of course.
I hear things in the ether. So before the mainstream media, the fake news didn't report that, but we did. If you go back to the thumbnail, I didn't add this. I said Drake will return. And I'm not a big Drake fan, but I hear things.
I mean,
I know people that's in association. Then Tuesday it drops. So people will be thinking I just be up here just talking just to talk. Now I don't waste my time like that. I know information, and I might delete later. When that was coming out, I knew that was coming. But the Pete Rock and comment, I knew that was. But I gotta listen to what I say. I've been sick. I mean, they've been punching on me for the last month and a half while I've been ill. I couldn't really get my thoughts out. But hey, it is what it is. Man.
I mean, Drake wasn't gonna just disappear, y'all. I don't know who thought that, but nah, Drake ain't gonna. And people that if you say you're not a fan of Drake, again, I question your hip hop card because you may not be the biggest fan of Drake. I know what you mean, Ron, right? But Drake been around for since 2009. It's now 2024. You mean to tell me you ain't never heard a song that you like from Drake? I think that may be a little bit of cap. Now, I'm not saying you said that, but I think all of us in hip hop have heard some things from Drake that we like at this point. Like, it's been a lot of years. So it's like at some degree, we are kind of fans of Drake to some level. It may be a small level, but come on now, it's Drake. You don't have, I mean, come on. Everybody has songs from Drake that they like at this point in the game.
I mean, you know, Drake is a situational rapper. You go out, you at a club, you at a bar, you on vacation, you're gonna listen to Drake. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go to work, you're not working out in the gym on Drake, you know what I'm saying? You're not putting, you're not sitting there eating dinner, you're not eating dinner on Drake, you know what I mean? But if you out and about and you in Miami, you might be in LA, you might be somewhere in Atlanta, you might be somewhere in Houston, you might be somewhere in Memphis. You might be in New York, you might be in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna hear Drake. It's like a situational type vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I hate to switch subjects. It's like Lotto.
Like
you know
all.
It's like Lotto. You know what I'm saying? I'm not me as a grown man. I'm not gonna go listen to Lotto records, but for the show, I listen to Lotto. I think Lotto has talent. I think Lotto, if you're talking about the ratchet female rap, I think she's the best. She's better than Ice Spice. I think she's better. I think she's better than Glorilla. I think she is the second. She is the heir apparent to Nicki Minaj, right? Because I think in Lotto, there's a rapper, there's an MC, there's creativity in it. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to her record. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being biased because she's from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
She's got talent. Sugar Honey Iced Tea. She's got talent. You know what I'm saying? I think she's got talent. I think as she gets older, maybe that she can tap into that. Because Little Kim was a little bit provocative back in the day, but Little Kim can rap. So I'm not comparing. Stop before everybody go crazy in the chat. I'm not comparing Little Kim to Lotto, but I think there's a dope MC, there's a dope rapper in Lotto. I can hear it. I thought the album again. I say this I say this all the time. The album wasn't for me. It's not for my demo. But I thought it was much better. It was a much better when I was previewing it or reviewing it. It was a much better listening experience than Ice Spice because I can hear because she's talking about, Lotto's talking about, she cooked. She's talking about she cooked. Said only thing a chicken offer you is whatever. You know what I'm saying? She a boss. You know what I'm saying? She's talking some talk on there. You know what I'm saying? She talking about Clayton County things in it. Being in Atlanta, I can speak to. You know what I'm saying? That I know of. So I like Lotto. I think she's witty. I think she's
been rapping for a very long time. This is not a new artist.
She's charismatic. You know what I'm saying? I think she can do it. I think it's gonna take some. I think it's gonna take another album, maybe, but I think in this ratchet lane of Ice Spice, of Megan Thee Stallion, of Glorilla, who I think or Sexy Red, I think Lotto is the one. That's just me, and I could be wrong.
I think we've got in an era where everyone says everything is trash. Like this artist is trash, their music is trash, or we hate them, we hate everything. These are, I mean, they may not be that good to you, but there's skill involved in what they do. If a lot of these people had to rap against them or make songs comparable to them, they would not be able to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like there's skill involved in what they do. Lotto, this ain't her first rodeo. She's been rapping for quite some time. She's not new anymore. So it's like it takes some skill. Now, a lot of people that, well, it's not like the 90s, bro. This is 2024. The 90s was a long time ago. This ain't the 90s. So it's like, but these rappers, they have some level of skill, guys. It's not just, oh, everything is trash, they're trash. Like, no, like we got to get out of that mentality. You know what I mean?
And let me get to these super chats real quick. I think I missed some. CJ Kidd with the super chat says the roster so far: K. Dot, Ross, Future, Metro, ASAP, Kanye, Weekend, Rihanna. YG Gambino, Wayne, the whole West Coast. Didn't Megan diss him too? Dang, that's a lot of people. It's 20v1 for real.
Right.
TJ Q with the super chat says, also Pharrell sent shots recently too. Also heard Lucian was upset with Drake for dropping 100 gifts for free on IG. So it got copyright fast.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? You gonna be mad at the guy who the number one guy who's dropping the most stuff, going number one the most. You're outside of like Eminem or something, but you're gonna be mad at that guy. Come on, this guy. Once you work your way into the building and you create such a impact that the building there's a void if you leave. That's where Drake is at. So Lucian could be mad, or anyone could be mad. Drake ain't going nowhere. Hate to say it, guys. You know what I mean?
Hey, the lines are now open. When I open, I sent it to a certain few people. Super duper. What's good, brother?
What's really good, fellas? What's happening?
What's happening? I know you've been on this Killer Mike tip for a little bit. You know what I mean? You know.
I mean, hey, I don't care if it's the remake of Michael or what. It's still the album of the year so far. I mean, production wise, rhyme wise, content wise, it's still the album of the year. I mean, Leroy up here, he talking about the Logic album. I haven't heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't go in on it. I ain't got nothing much to say about it. But yeah, for me, Killer Mike still got the album of the year, man. But the Benny the Butcher, man, I was just listening to it. I finished through the album, and I mean, for me, like Benny just don't know how to put together good songs for the artist that he's supposed to be. I think that he really kind of been taking a step back since the Tana Talk series. To be honest with you, he as an artist, he moving backwards. He not really moving forward. It's like he don't know how to. I don't think that he. I don't think he knows how to move forward as an artist. I think his best days might be behind him, and like he might need to branch off into like just branch off from his clique. To be honest with you, and go ahead, Leroy. Just
a quick point. I'm gonna get in a quick point. But with Tana Talk 3, right? It is a classic and it's super dope, right? But he's just barring up. It's the beat and he bars up. Those are the two elements, right? But now his music, there's singing involved, there's melodies involved. So I do think he took a step forward.
I mean, the singing, but is it good songs though? You know what I mean? Like, is it what song on this album? Like Benny is the type of rapper right now that should be getting more notoriety from the mainstream. He signed with Def Jam. He should be having songs that's on the radio. He should be one of the guys that's bringing hip hop back to the forefront of bar work and stuff. But he doesn't know how to make the songs that connect to the mainstream still. I mean, I think Kanye might even Conway is probably more likely to do that before Benny. You know what I'm saying? Conway, you can hear him. You can hear him moving forward. You can hear what he's trying to do. Even guys like Bodie James, you know what I'm saying? Like Bodie James got the underground on fire. Right now, I damn near think Bodie James is the best out of that. I don't think he Griselda anymore, but out of the guys that was under that Griselda umbrella, Bodie is still growing as an artist. Benny is not really growing as an artist right now. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, even with Bodie James, though, right? His last record was with Conductor. I love Conductor, so this is not a shot at Conductor. But if the goal is to go mainstream, then the type of records that we're hearing from this camp sounds very street-orientated, very hardcore. I don't know if that's going to materialize in the mainstream. So I do think the melodics in which Benny is using, such as a song like The Most on what he did and Higher. I love the song Higher on this project. But are these the best songs ever? No, I wouldn't say that. But just moving in a more melodic direction. If the plan is to go mainstream, that's got to be part of the formula. I hate to say it, but it's got to be.
I wouldn't say that the album is whack or nothing. No, I enjoyed it. I think it's it's a cool album. It's straight, but does it do anything for him moving forward? As like, does it really do anything for him, or is it just another album to feed the fan base? Because I mean, what was the point of going to Def Jam if you wasn't gonna try to do something more than what you already been doing? You know what I'm saying? He could have stayed with Griselda. I think people might respect the the Griselda sound. It might actually fit him better than what he's actually doing right now as a Def Jam artist.
No, I feel you. I agree. Like, I'm right. If you're gonna go, if you know, again, once you have proven your caliber of rapping, right? It's like we'll take a Lupe, and they're not the same type of rapper, but let's say Lupe made a super radio song. Well, I think he can do that because he's already proven to us that he's a spitter, and I think Benny is in that same regard. He's proven to us already that he's a spitter. So I don't see a problem with him making the song for the ladies, with him making a song. I don't know where the issue lies. You know what I mean? Now, may it be something that we want to hear? Maybe not. But if the object is to move into a more mainstream space as a Def Jam artist, I think this is a must do. Like, the music does have to soften up to reach an audience that is not as street as the Griselda audience.
Well, I don't think he has to soften up, because you still got guys out here like 21 Savage. You still got your boss man D-Los. You still got like the guys that's getting attention. They not softening up to appeal to the masses. They just making songs that appeal to the masses, whether we as hip hop heads really like them or not. They still making music that can appeal to the masses, and it's still getting radio play. I just think that Benny just lacks song making ability, and especially since Tana Talk, I would say Tana Talk 3, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think that he understands as an artist like how to make a song like that can appeal to people in a great way. And I mean, his beat picking is part of the problem too. You know what I'm saying? Like the beats that he picking are not like songs that you're gonna hear on the radio or and like, I mean, I don't really care about the radio, so I'm just talking about this in the aspect that we really speaking on it, because that's neither here nor there for me. But I'm saying, like, if you're gonna take that next step up, I think he has to do a better job of picking production and like just actually making his songs.
I think also it's like sometimes when you come out as an artist, you take that next step relatively quickly. I think Benny's been out for so long, you're either gonna take that next step or you're not. I think he's at the point now, it ain't gonna happen. And
that's what I'm really saying, right? I think that we might have got the best out of him already. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think there's another level. Like Big Sean can drop he have Alchemist and Primo and Ye. Oh, no, he's not gonna work with Ye, but he can have Conductor, whoever the case may be on his album. It's just he's reached his ceiling. Like, when you blow and you get to the next level, it happens quick. It don't happen over time. I'm trying to think of an artist that came out and then it blew up.
Know what you mean?
Yeah. Maybe 2 Chainz, maybe, because he was started off as Titty Boy and play his circle. But I mean,
but 2 Chainz and Benny is kind of similar in the degree, like, they came from an independent clique or a group off the street corner, whereas these other guys, they come from major label deals. So they blow up quickly with a major label deal on the table. Benny came from the street corner. So his rise was a little bit more, it's more things to be done, because it wasn't nobody backing Benny like that until he proved he could create an audience. But I think Benny is a situational rapper, meaning he can find the inspiration in a situation and turn that into a song. And I think that leaves the door open for an elevation, because somebody who can do that, who's detailed enough and articulate enough to find that inspiration in a moment and keep creating songs, I think that's different. Now, when it comes to someone like a J. Cole or Big Sean, maybe we have heard the best of them. With Benny, I think he still has potential to go even higher. But the song making we're talking about is the hardest part of the game. That is the hardest records to make are hit records. And I've been said this for years. That's a bar. Anybody who doubts that's the case, try to make a hit record and see how difficult that is.
Benny need a record with Lotto. That would have been a great record. You know what I mean?
Hey man, but the female, you don't have to go just all female, but it is a cheat code, like I was saying. But just how you deliver your thought, your over the situation, or I think Benny is very clear when he's rapping. I think there are things that everybody can relate to in his rapping. Like you could never have hustled your whole life, and you're listening to his bars, and you could still find something in there that you could relate to, right? So I think he could pull it off, man. I think he could pull it off, and
Speaking of female rappers and songs with female rappers, what y'all think about that LL song?
Oh, let me answer that first.
Yeah.
I thought the production was interesting. It sounded like Q-Tip tried to make a different type of sound. It was like a I don't know if it was like a futuristic type sound, but it was like more of a it was a futuristic, sexy type sound. It was different. I wasn't expecting to hear that when I heard the record. I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? I thought it was a cool record. I don't think it's something I'm, that's gonna get a lot of continual play on my end, but I don't know. I gotta go out. I don't know. People in the chat, let us know. Y'all hearing that out?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Honestly, I hated the beat. I hated the production on that song. Like that's my only knock on the song. I think LL was fine with his verses. Sweetie, she was all right, but I hated the beat. I could not. I couldn't. I can't find myself going back and listening to that.
I think it's going to work within the context of the album. I think Q-Tip probably put together the songs in an arrangement to where that song fits between two other songs where the musicality is going to make sense. I thought the record was cool. LL does LL things. Like I expect LL to make this record because
it's my least favorite record of the ones that he's put out.
So far, yes, it is. It is for me too. And it kind of it might have my expectations for the album drop a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like from that, like I don't know. I hated it. I can't lie.
It reminded me. It's not the same album. It's not the same song. Like Timbaland made that record. It reminded me like the sound of it or the feel of it was like AO technology with 50 Cent and Justin Timberlake. It just it's like a weird record. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I can't say it's a bad record. I don't like it. Sounds kind of corny, but I see technically it could be considered a dope record. I don't know. It's not for me.
You remember Imagine That, the song Imagine That from LL from the GOAT album. It reminded me of that. Like Imagine That, something, Imagine That, like the single off that album. But I thought the beat was I actually kind of liked the beat. The song I thought was cool. The best part about it was the beat, and I like to look at Sweetie. I'm sorry, I think Sweetie's fine, but I thought the song was alright. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I understand like the need for him to do it and for him to drop it as to get the attention from that crowd or whatever. So I understand why LL would do it and why he would drop it, but I don't like it, man. I can't lie. Like I ain't gonna front on it.
It's not it's the best single out of the 3 that he released. It's definitely the 3rd best on that list of those 3 songs. I get you.
I think this might be the 4th one because I think something else leaked. But and make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you show us some love on the super chat. It goes a long way to getting us where we need to go. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers so we can do the first annual According Hip Hop Festival. It'll probably be either in Atlanta. We might do it in Atlanta, or we might do it in Miami. But make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're probably gonna do it in Atlanta.
Man, we could do that anyway, man.
No, we gotta get the right city. I think we gotta get the right city. I think Miami. You got. I don't know. We're gonna do it in Atlanta. I think we could.
Do it in the A. Let's do it in the A. You know what I mean? And then maybe with the second time move to Atlanta. But we could. I mean at Miami, but we could do that if you really.
I mean, we're gonna do the first annual Corner Hip Hop Summit. We're gonna have like technology discussions. And then I also want to put in the chat, I see people talking about politics and should we do a hip hop political show? I know According Hip Hop is an escape from a lot of people look at According Hip Hop as an escape from the political talk. But do you think maybe on Sunday mornings we should do like a hip hop political show, to talk about the issues, hip hop community? I don't know, just a thought. Let us know in the chat if you think we should do something like that. But anyway, where I want to go with this. I want to go back to Lotto. Again, I think she Super Duper. Did you hear any of Lotto's album? What do you think about Lotto as an MC?
I mean, like I said, when we had this discussion before, I think Lotto is one of the most talented females as far as like flow wise and rapping ability. Like I like her flow. I like the way she sound more. But no, I haven't listened to the album. I really, honestly, man, I don't really check for female rap. I mean, it's really not my style. Like it's just not it's not my style, honestly. If it's not Rhapsody or a female speaking about something, I really don't check for the twerking female style of rapping. Like I really just don't check for it. I did hear the Polo G and Glorilla's album, and it was all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cool, but I'm never checking out no female album, man. Like unless they speaking about something. So
No, I
that's
hear
just
you.
that's just me.
I'm kind of the same way. I check for if I'm gonna check for like a certain type of thing, I'm more liable to go into the R&B route. But the female rap, it's tough. Like I'm more likely to listen to a Rhapsody too. Like that's just more something that I would lean toward, just because of the aesthetic of how she does music. You know what I mean? But I'm not mad at the Lotto range. I like Bia. That's why I said shout out to Bia. I like Bia. I like Saweetie for the songs that I have heard. I haven't heard her like albums or nothing like that. But it's tough because that music is it's not for me. So I got to hear it just like in passing, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, that sounds like a cool little bop, and I may listen to the song. But it's like I still haven't even heard the Ice Spice. Like it's just some things just are not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird because back in the day, I did buy Kim album. I bought the Notorious K.I.M. You know what I'm saying? I did buy Hardcore. You know what I'm saying? I did buy Rod Digger's album. You know what I'm saying? I did listen to Bahamadia. I did listen to you know what I'm saying? I did listen to Yo Yo. I did listen to Lauryn Hill. I listened to I listened to Boss. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I mean, I did listen to female rappers back in the day. Now it just seems like where the females are rhyming, they talking about having sex with dudes and running up credit cards and I mean I can't. That's not for me to listen to because I'm not into that. You know,
They making too much strip club type music, which I'm not really for that. That like for me to be playing it in my car. Like I mean, like I said, I never played a Drake album on purpose. I never played Drake because I feel like Drake for me is almost in that female rap category lane. Like where I don't play Drake. I wouldn't play Drake. And you're gonna hear Drake anyway. But as far as females right now, the only two females that I will check for are like Rhapsody, Che Noir, um, what's our girl from the West Coast, Kamaya or whatever.
Right.
Whenever she drops something, I can respect her rapping and her song making and what she actually talking about on the album a little bit more than like the Sweeties, even the Gorillas and the Sexy Reds. That's just for me. It's just not my style at all.
It's your
I mean,
thing.
it's
A shape.
female rap is almost like female comedy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like female comedy. It's a handful of females that's funny like that. I'm not a fan of female comedy either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the only songs, like I said, I don't listen to Drake like that either. But the only songs I ain't trying to be a liar. I'm gonna tell the truth. The only songs I got in my phone that I got saved is Free Smoke. I got Diplomatic Immunity. I got 10 bands. I got 0 to 100.
The stuff for dudes. That's what you.
Western Road Flows.
But Drake is for the females. Like Drake is for females. Like so, if you that's why you listen to Drake. Like for some female type
nonstop.
Yep.
And I got first person shooter, so I got the aggressive records in my joint. So that's what I got on my phone. You know what I mean? Hey, Mad Max is on here. Mad Max, what's good, brother? What's on your mind?
Yo, Ron, you gotta stop lying about Lotto, man.
Wait. Ain't nobody, I'm keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck,
Stop
bro.
it, man. Stop it. I'm gonna get at that Lotto point later. We're gonna start since I'm an NY nigga, I'm gonna start with Benny. I like 3 joints out of that little tape. Benny is cooked. He needs to retire.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I rocks with Benny, but he needs to retire, man.
whoa, Mad Max, what we
He needs to
doing?
retire, man.
Man, Benny been keeping NY kind of lit for a while. Now I know the last album
I
people didn't
think
like
I
that,
think I
but
think
come on, man.
I think all of Griselda needs to retire. They have to either change their production team or
Okay,
retire. It's
yeah,
simple as that.
that's.
They
I
have
mean,
No,
you,
I agree. I
look,
agree with
look,
Mad Max in the sense that
look,
they are falling off, though. They are falling off. Everybody
look,
falling off except for Bodie.
look. The problem with Griselda, and this is the problem with a lot of these retro rappers like Joey Badass and guys like that. You're rapping on boom bap beats. The boom bap beats you're rapping on, yeah, they sound like the 90s, but you
right.
guys are not making better beats than Primo did in 92, 3, 4, 5, or RZA or none of that. So
Facts.
Yeah, bro,
essentially
it's not the 90s. They
essentially you're making a watered down lower product. And if people are gonna listen, especially the youth, if you're really talking about the youth, if the youth is not gonna be into boom bap because they didn't grow up on boom bap. But if they're gonna want to listen to boom bap, they're gonna want to hear the elite of the elite boom bap, not just gonna want to just hear some
but Mad Max,
high or okay version of it.
the youth that okay, so the kids I'm around are the children of my friends that have children, right? So they're in their teens, early adulthood. Do they even know what boom bap is like that? Because when I hear their music, it doesn't sound like they would even know what that is. But they do like authenticity. If we're talking about street rap, hardcore gangster rap, right? They like authenticity. So when they come across a Benny, they're not gonna look at Benny as if he's some kind of fake dude. They're gonna look at Benny like, okay, like he knows what he's talking about.
But what's the difference? All right, but look at Benny, right? Street rapper.
Right.
Look at 21 Savage, street rapper. Look at my guy Pop Smoke, street rapper. The difference between those guys is, well, maybe the
The,
voices between them and the
and
beats
the production. The
and
production.
the
You're right,
and the
Mad Max.
beats. That is the difference. I mean, if
Yeah.
young people like Pop Smoke, they like 21, and they like bad content. We've been on this podcast. Everybody talks about how the young people are gravitating to bad content or that destructive street content.
Right.
Why is Griselda not elevating if it's not for the production? It has to be the production.
Well, yes, and no. I think that Griselda is catering to us. Like I think they go in the studio and they're looking for people like us and to be like, let's make some music for them. And
Yeah, but they don't. They
I think
don't
if
have to.
But the but
mainstream,
the
you can
problem with that, Leroy,
forget about us.
but the problem with that, Leroy, but Leroy, the problem with that, what you're saying is, let's say they are making music for Ron, you, Super
Right.
Duper, and a guy like me who likes listen to the old boom bap rappers anyway. One, we're never gonna view you like you're 97 Hove or 94 Nas or
Right.
97 Big or Method Man or Pac back in the day or whatever. We're not the y'all are never gonna view them on that level. Period. So
I
it's like you're in
I
a rock. You're really in the middle of you're going nowhere because you're making yeah, you have 40-year-olds who are gonna champion you now, but they're never gonna put you over their era. And the only people that will put you on top of their era are the new kids, and they don't like your production. So something has to change.
I agree, Mad Max. You're preaching right now.
yeah, but and that's the hard equation which I think they're trying to work out. And I do think they're safe where they're at. Like if they don't elevate, I think what they've created is a masterclass in creating your audience, targeting an audience, right? But the production is a key factor. But I do think again, I named the qualities that I think Benny has, and I think with the right production, Benny could go where Hove went. Like Hove, he didn't change who he was as a person. He may have made Big Pimpin' and other songs with Timberland and Swiss, but he remained the same person. And I think Benny can pull
But
that off.
Hove went to other beats though. I
Yes.
mean, Hove kept some of the primo beats, but when you talk about Big Pimpin', You talk about the Pharrell and Timbo stuff; those are different type of beats.
True.
They're not the same Reasonable Doubt beats. See, Hov didn't stay in the Reasonable Doubt lane. He went and did, once he got the Annie sample, we saw what he was doing. Like, he would give you a couple of those because that's him. That's naturally him. And I'm not saying they gotta leave that production completely, but
no, you're right.
12 records of the same boom bap beat, no drums, and they're drumless. Come on, you can't expect to sell with drumless beats. Come on.
I totally agree with you, Mad Max. That was part of my point. What I was saying earlier, and like, what's wrong with a guy like Benny the Butcher who was on Def Jam, rapping over or rapping with? I mean, even if it's Hit Boy, Metro, just branching off to some of these other producers that are actually hot, and they have a more up tempo, more sonic that the youth are messing with. When you got the rapping ability that he has, so I would love to hear Benny over a Metro beat. I would love to hear him over a Hit Boy beat. What's wrong with him doing that? It's like you don't have to stay in your comfort zone.
He drops that you're gonna take his head off, Super Duper. He knows when he drops those records, you coming out like, man, that shit is trash. And
I'm not. I'm not gonna do him like that at all. I'm not.
CJQ with the super chat says, "Are you saying Benny has the ability to be Hov?" Let me say that one. Let me say this one thing real quick. If we look at the Griselda collective as a whole, you got Conway the Machine, you got Benny the Butcher. Me personally, I think the star of the group is the one that can't rap the best. I think Westside Gunn has always made the best music. You know what I'm saying? I think I always go back and listen to his albums more than I go back and listen to Conway or Benny's. I think Westside Gunn is the star of the group. Now, can he rap? Can he rhyme like Benny? Can he rhyme like Conway? No. But I think Westside is the star of the show. But I don't know. To that question that CJ Kid asked, are we saying that Benny has the ability to be Hov? Who wants to tackle that?
No.
He does not have the ability to be Jay-Z.
I think that he has that. And for me to say that about somebody, Hov being my favorite rapper, the GOAT. We were going to get into Watch the Throne a little bit later. But for me to think Hov is the GOAT and think somebody's comparable to that, that's saying a lot. And I do think that Benny has the ability to go there.
Man, this is foolish talk already. This is this is foolishness.
Why has he's been out for a while? Why hasn't he gone?
Yeah, he's been out too long to even be saying this right now. And he doesn't have the song making ability to be compared to a Jay-Z at all. I mean, this is what, his 10th album?
But
like, come on, man.
Look at Benny's skill set. When we talk about Jay-Z had extremely great word choice. Jay-Z, he has better word choice than Benny. And Jay-Z was witty. Like, Jay-Z had satire to him. So there was ways that Jay-Z could kind of be like, even 21 Savage, right? When you listen to 21 Savage, I don't really like 21. I do think he has a good voice, and I think he picks good beats. I give him that. But he says funny stuff that kids remember. Like, even when he's talking about gunplay, he does it in a very kind of witty way. Benny's not witty, period. So it's like, it's like, what is he gonna be Hov at? Like, he don't rap on soul samples. He don't rap on no up-tempo beats. I don't think he can rap on up-tempo beats with his particular flow. I just don't see it. So I don't know what he's gonna do.
In Jay's era, I think
let's just dead this, man. This is not even worthy of even talking about at all. Like, really, he's not nowhere near Jay-Z, and it's not even a conversation. Honestly, it's not even nothing to even be talking about.
Super. When Jay used to drop a record, the only opinions he would hear are from the publications. He never heard our opinions because there was no internet for him to hear our opinions. Now, if Benny drops a record, he's going to hear 1,000 different opinions within 24 hours. And I think that he knows that, and I think that's why he stays in his comfort zone, because he's going to hear people saying, bro,
if he hearing us, right, his last album that Everybody Can't Go, everybody was just shitting on that album. We didn't like it. This last album, if he listening right now, we shitting on this album. So, like, I mean, if he gonna listen, then he gonna listen. But
People shit on Jay's music back in the day.
to compare him to Jay-Z is just crazy talk, and it's not even worth us discussing as a hip hop podcast. Come on, Ron, change the subject.
Yeah, I mean that's just
his music back in the day. He just never heard their opinion because there was nobody to tell him that.
But let me put a pin in this real quick, Mad Max. No. I mean, like again, Benny has been in the game for far too long. If he was gonna have a Jay-Z career arc, it would have already happened. We don't hear it. I don't think it's possible. It's just, I just don't think that's not even on the radar. I don't.
Okay.
No, that's just not.
A Jay-Z arc is a hit record. That's a Jay-Z arc. So if he puts in a hit record one day,
why has he put one out already?
He's from an era where your song is worth less than a penny. Jay's from an era where your song is worth like $5.
Yeah, but that doesn't have nothing to do with the music, Leroy.
It's not even popping in.
Jay only
not even popping in the
songs a year.
He's from though, Leroy. He's not even popping in New York like that.
Jay signed his production team on top of that and made sure the team sounded different. Jay only had to really drop 20 songs a year. Benny got to drop 50 songs. So the dynamics are a little different.
He has to drop 50 songs because he can't make 20 songs like Jay did that were gonna sell.
I'm not saying
one. He can't make one song like that.
He can't make one, but
most people can't be Jay-Z. Most people can't be Jay-Z. That's impossible. So I'm not saying it's easy. Y'all. Most rappers will never come close to a Jay-Z.
Benny is like most rappers.
It takes a certain authenticity. When you're spitting your hustler rhymes, people have to believe you. They have to believe.
But listen, man, this is the problem that we really got with this, right? So you got a guy that we like a 21 Savage, and I like 21. I ain't hating on 21 at all. But 21 knows how to make a song, right? He knows how to make a song to appeal to people. He knows how to make a song. He knows how to make a song to get on the radio. He knows how to make a song that's going to get played in the club. He knows how to make a song, even though his lyrical ability and his rapping ability is probably not even close to a Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher's problem is the song making. So he would never be on the Jay-Z level until he learns how to make a song that can appeal to the masses and not just his fan base and not just his hardcore group of people that like him.
21 appeals to the
also original.
21 appeals to the strippers. If you appeal to the strippers, you get the
strippers, man. It's not just the strippers, man.
No, because that song No Heart with Metro back in the day. No Heart, when he came out of the game with No Heart, that wasn't a stripper record.
But when 21 came out the gate, Leroy, when 21 came out,
Atlanta is strip club culture. Am I right about that? So once he grabbed that culture, you can propel your way up from there. And it seems why a lot of rappers record in Atlanta.
But when we talking about 21, he came on the Metro booming beats, which were hard beats.
Yes.
You gotta give him credit. Those beats were hard.
Okay.
And then he came in with originality. I don't like 21's flow. That's really the reason why I don't like 21. I don't like how he raps. He sounds like a second grade remedial rapper to me. But
he is funny.
He came in with but he has a great voice. He picked hard beats and he came with his own type of flow. There's no one in Atlanta that raps like 21 Savage.
Right.
There's no one in Atlanta that raps like 21 Savage. He also came in with that whisper flow that you've been seeing got popularized. That actually is hard. That little whisper flow he do, that's kind of hard. That little 21 Savage thing. That stuff is hard. So the kids are gonna gravitate to that because it's new and it's fresh and it's hot. Benny is doing something that we heard 20, 30 years ago. And he is not, even if you're gonna do something that's from 20, 30 years ago, you're gonna fall in that Joey Badass problem, which is you can sound like Buck Wild if you want to, but you're not as nice as him. So why would I listen to you if I could go listen to Buck Wild? Why would I listen to Benny if he's trying to sound like, Raekwon? Raekwon is better than Benny. So I would go listen to Raekwon. That's just
but
it. Like, it's
compare an era where
especially if you're gonna rap over lackluster production at the same time, and you're not gonna even modernize the production that you rapping on with that style. Like he needs to he needs to rap over better, more modernized production that appeals more to the mainstream and more to the kids and more to the I won't even say the kids because we like it too, man. Like I'm not gonna act like I don't like 21 Savage beats or the beats that Future pick or the stuff that Boss Man D-Lo is rapping over. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't like the music or the beats. There's nothing wrong with Benny the Butcher rapping over that style of music with his style.
but
There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, but at some point, guys, people just are what they are, man. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Like for example, I'm trying to think. Let's take you from a sports analogy. I used to back in the day. I'm a football guy, right? And Jay Cutler used to play for the Broncos. Jay Cutler had a real strong arm. You know what I'm saying? And he went to Chicago. Then he played for Miami. I mean, Jay Cutler had all the talent. He just was what he was. Benny Butcher. I like Benny Butcher. I think he's a fan of the program. He's a fan of the platform. He's been shouting us out. Much respect to Benny. I like his music, but he just is what he is. I think he's in that tier. We got to do that podcast where we put people on tiers, right? He's on that tier. You know what I'm saying? He's just on that. He's on a certain tier. And I just think at this point in the game, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I mean, at the same time, though, man, we can't put a fork in these guys until they try something new. You got to try something new before you can say you done. And like this is the same thing with Nas. When Nas switched his sound up, the Hit Boy stuff don't sound like nothing from the past. And so, like hearing Nas rap over that style of production, even though it's not very far off from the original things that we like from Nas, but it's still something that's different, and we get to hear Nas flow different on songs like Thun. We get to hear him on songs like Get Light. We get to hear him change his flow up a little bit in the production with Nas still being his original self. It sounds great together. Benny needs to do something like that.
You know what need to happen, Super Duper? I think we need to create a label with According to Hip Hop. We need to sign Benny. We need to get him out of his Def Jam deal. We need to get in the studio with Benny. All of us. Mad Max, Leroy, Super Duper, Mike D. We get in the studio. We executive produce the album as a collective, and I bet he come out with. I bet we get. We'll make that classic that he's been looking for. We'll do that.
And the reason why you're saying he needs to get on this type of beat or that type of beat is because in your mind you know he can. You know it's possible.
Yeah, we know he can.
So we got to know he can do it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna reach out. I'm not bullshit. I'm not bullshit. I'm gonna reach out next week. I'm gonna see if I can get a forum with Benny. Hey, look, let's work on your new joint, man.
Def Jam ain't
and this is another reason why when we hear Benny rap on freestyles over other beats, he sound like his freestyle is. I don't want to start no argument, but it's the same thing I would say for Jadakiss. I like Jadakiss freestyles or even Fabulous. I like Fabulous freestyles over other people's beats versus the actual album music that he makes. Benny is great on freestyles. He sounds better than he sounds on the album when he's rapping over somebody else's beat. And when it's just like him and a beat and he sounds great on them albums. He sounds like his potential is out the roof. You know what I'm saying? He sounds like he could have the potential was there when you hear him over somebody else's beat, over something that's just forced on him. So when he freestyling, he sounds like he could be one of the greatest to ever come out. But when you get on this album,
you agree with me if that you're hearing what I'm hearing. When I say he could do what Jay did, you're hearing what I'm now. Will he sell as many records as Jay? Jay's from the physical era, so their answer is no. But can he smoothly transition from a hardcore Alchemist lane to a more Hit Boy lane? Yeah, he could do that. To a Metro lane, yeah, he could do that.
I mean, we got a
Benny is closer to J. Cole.
We got a sample size, man. We got a sample size, and we just know it is what it is. Like
Benny's closer to J. Cole, Ron. J. Cole, but because J. Cole has hear me out. Because J. Cole has a fan base that puts him in a superstar realm, he can stay in his same bubble with his same type of beats that he's been rapping over, where his detractors say J. Cole don't really have it like that. Benny does the same thing in a sense. The difference is J. Cole has a super big fan base that no matter what he do, he gonna sell 200,000 copies every time.
Cole came out
Hey,
on
Benny's
the
but
not have that.
Mad
tour.
Max, I gotta disagree with you on that because when J. Cole was on his feature run and he was rapping over other people's production and beats that he probably wouldn't pick for himself or beats that he didn't produce for himself, people was anticipating him and thinking that he was the best rapper out right now. And that was because of the change in production and him being featured on other people's albums. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying? So like
you talking about other albums though. You're not talking about his own though. I'm just
but that's
saying
what I'm saying though. Like that change up from him rapping over what he's normally rapping over made people look at him in a different light. So that feature run that he had all last year for the last year and a half or whatever, up until his Might Delete Later came out or whatever. Even though, you know, saying that album I think might have been better than what we looking at it as, but he apologized and so now we not judging it fairly. You know what I'm
The
saying? But
Team J
that
Cole, the
that
first
run,
J
that
Cole,
run that he was on though
he was
had
standing.
us looking at J. Cole in a different light.
The first time we seen J Cole, he was standing next to Jay Z, Drake, and Rihanna. That's a combination to where he came. That's how he came in the door on the Blueprint 3 tour. Then he hopped on a plane and got on the Rihanna tour with a song with Drake. So there's no comparison to J. Cole because he came in the front door as a full superstar with a
No,
multi-platinum
that's but
star.
Leroy, that's not
that's
really what
not
I'm talking about.
that's not my point though. My point was more so how J. Cole has been given or people have noticed that when he typically did his albums, it was the same vibe. It was the same type of beat. I'm not saying Benny's as good as J. Cole or nothing. I'm saying that issue of when they go into their album process or their project process is the same. It's mostly, I'm rapping on the same beat or same type of beat, and they stay in that same realm. They don't venture off. See, like a Kendrick would venture off and pick different beats. Drake will pick some different beats. Future, he's Future stays in his little trap, but the beats are more entertaining generally. Like people around J. Cole's, his peers would pick different type of beats, right? So J. Cole had that issue where he wasn't picking different type of beats. People notice it.
It's a
I'm
big,
saying that's what
I,
Benny's
I, I
problem
think
is.
I think J. Cole is a little bit more versatile. Like we can't really put J. Cole and Benny in the same conversation because J. Cole's got multiple different flows. You know what I'm saying? Benny's gonna hit you with the same. He's dope. You know what I'm saying? Benny is dope, but Benny can spit. But J. Cole is different. Like he's a different type of animal. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even compare. I can't even compare the two artists. They're just too different.
Benny comes across as if he's not even rapping. He's just describing his life. And that is an element. This is why I kind of have faith in what he can do because it's rare that you hear that. He's not even rapping. He's just explaining to you his life. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
but like I said before, like I was just saying, man, when J. Cole started getting on his feature run, we was looking at J. Cole with different eyes. And that's because, like you said, Mad Max, he wasn't picking the same beats that he was rapping on during his albums. When he was rapping over different production with different artists, we started looking at him with different eyes. He sounded better. His flow improved. He was forced to rap in different ways.
I
And
agree.
that's what Benny the Butcher needs to do as well. He need to get on a different wavelength than his same old, really.
And let me get to the super chat real quick. It says Benny is the third. Lord Vachai Vici says Benny is the third in Griselda. I agree. But let's segue to the next topic, guys, because I know we got to get up out of here in a minute. Shout out to my man Sauce Walker. I'm trying to. I reached out to my guy in Houston last week. We're trying to get an interview with Sauce Walker. He did a freestyle with the LA Leakers on the Hard Not Life beat a few weeks back. That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Sauce Walker was is dope, and I want to sit down and talk to him. But anyway, I digress. Leroy wanted to talk about Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne came out August 8th, 2011. I think it's been 13 years since the album came out. I remember vividly when it came out. Funk Flex dropped the bomb on Otis when a single Otis dropped. The video for Otis was dope. They had a customized Maybach. You know, it was very
That was
very,
fire.
very big video. I think Spike Jones might have directed that video. It's a dope video. It was Kanye, Jay-Z together. maybe in the prime of their careers, maybe after post Jay-Z's prime. Jay-Z had previously done collaboration albums with Linkin Park, with R. Kelly, and The Throne was supposed to be the biggest thing out. And 13 years later,
to be, or was it?
What do y'all think? And I'll ask the panel, what do y'all think? Leroy, speak to what you think about Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
I'll give my thoughts, and then Super Duper and Mad Max as well.
When we talk about Jay's prime, are we talking? We're talking about musically, but how do we musically quantify his prime when his projects are different? They sonically are different, so we don't know. Like Kingdom Come doesn't sound like American Gangster. That doesn't sound like Watch the Throne, which doesn't sound like Magna Carta, which doesn't sound like So if you're always changing your sound, you're different. Now, as far as the combination of Kanye West and Jay-Z, who else do you know is a bigger duo in that era? Because a lot of what I hear, it is popularity based. I can tell in people's opinion that they factor in popularity. So if that is the case, how popular is Kanye West and Jay-Z? And I also hear that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is such a great album. I've heard that countless amount of times. Well, guess what sessions that album was created in? Watch the Throne. The sonics are literally the same. The engineers are literally the same. The song is, so.
Leroy, are you saying this because Kanye was cooking Jay-Z on that album?
I think that album has a lot of street content. So,
but is that why you saying everything you just said? Because you're trying to give a reason to why Kanye was cooking Jay-Z on that album.
If people think Kanye can deliver street content better than Jay, that's on y'all. Jay, I don't think that. There's a lot of street content on that album.
I don't think we're saying that. I think we're trying to make an assessment. We're trying to make an assessment. Who came off better on the album? Was it Jay-Z? Who?
That's what I'm answering. If Kanye, a lot of the content on the album is street content around the middle and the end of it, and it's situational. Jay is delivering what we know he's there to deliver. Jay has more verses than Kanye on the album. Jay has more depth in the first few bars, tears on the mausoleum floor, blood stains the Coliseum door, lies on the lips of a priest, Thanksgiving disguised as a feast. It's, there are several lines that these aren't just nonsensical lines. The depth in these lines are outrageous. New Day, Ends in Paris, the Otis Redding for Otis. Jay is no slouch at rapping. So whatever people are talking about Kanye cooking Jay, I don't know what rhymes you're talking about because
but that's why you saying all this, right? That's why you came out off top. We just talking about the album, and you came out defending Jay-Z off top. So you must know.
You asked me about.
I asked you that because you so defensive already while we talking. Like we ain't even get into the album, and you defending Jay-Z right now.
You literally asked me. You literally said, "Well, Kanye's cooking Jay. How do you feel about Jay getting cooked?" Like you literally.
No, I was saying, are you saying all of this because people feel like Kanye was cooking Jay-Z on the album? That's why I was saying you came off defensive. You giving a reason to why you saying what you saying, but you really defending Jay-Z off top when we just
saying because you won't let me finish, so you don't know what I said. But what I said was, if people are talking about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is such a great album. Well, guess what those sessions come out of? And you can are we hip hop heads? We can literally hear Sonic.
But Leroy, we haven't even discussed it yet.
We ain't even said nothing yet.
Who said that?
I'll give my take on Watch the
Throne.
Hold on.
Hey, let Mad Max go first, man. Let Leroy go last because he already trying to defend Jay-Z for no reason.
You asked about Jay-Z.
Leroy, we opened the conversation. Nobody said nothing. You going in? Ain't nobody said.
Right. If you don't let me finish, well, then I got to address the question.
Nobody stopped you from finishing. What are you talking about?
Rewind the tape, and you'll see. Rewind. Well, I get cut off so much.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nobody said nobody.
Leroy, all I asked you was what were you saying all of this because you was trying to defend Jay-Z? It sounded like you was trying to defend Jay-Z when you first started talking about it.
So you didn't say that Kanye cooked Jay-Z to me?
I said that because of all what you were saying while you was talking about the album. I'm like, are you saying this because people saying that Kanye cooked Jay-Z on the album? It seemed like right off top you started defending Jay-Z before we even really gave our opinions on how the album lasted and how it sounded in 2024, how good the album is, anything. We didn't even say nothing yet, and you started defending Jay-Z.
Again, when you keep cutting me off, you don't know what I said because
Nobody cut you off.
I mentioned my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. You mentioned who had the better verses. You see how we're talking about two different things? So I responded to you because you cut me off, in which I was talking about the comparison between my beautiful dark twisted fantasy, who's produced by the same guy. I don't know if y'all know.
Leroy, I'll let you talk for 2 minutes, and your whole 2 minutes before I cut you off, you was defending Jay-Z.
I don't think nobody cut. Wait. I don't think nobody cut nobody. I think you just asked him a question. I don't think nobody cut nobody off. I ain't hear nobody cut nobody.
I'm done, man. I'm done.
No, Leroy. I want to be clear, man. Nobody cut you off, bro.
Man, I'm done.
You wildin'.
Hey, go ahead, Mad Max.
So, all right, wait. What's the question about Watch the Throne? Is it how's it grown or how's it looked at today?
Well, this is Leroy. This is Leroy's topic. So, Leroy, what's the question for Watch the Throne?
I'm done. I just said what I had to say, but
we got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation about it. What's the conversation about it?
Yeah, what are we talking about with Watch the Throne?
I think I got to song 6, and then I was done. So I'm done, man. I'm done.
I'm sorry.
I got it, man. Because I'm not going to argue with nobody, man. I'm not going to argue with nobody.
With you, bro. We asked you a question.
But my question is, what's the question that what are we talking about with Watch?
Okay. So let me give the question because this was Leroy's topic. It's not my topic, but let me frame a question around it. It's 13 years later. It came out August 8th, 2011. Watch the Throne came out. So how does Watch the Throne stand the test of time 13 years later? Was it a great album? Was it a good album? Was it mid? Did it meet expectations? And then also, whose career did it impact the most? Did it benefit Jay-Z or did it benefit Kanye? That's the question.
All right, so I'll answer that. I think it was let me see. It was a great moment in the moment. I'll give it that. It was a great moment in the moment because it came out in 2011. That's when it came out. So
2011, 13 years old. Came out August 8th, 2011. So
I remember I was in high school and that came out and people was going crazy for that. I remember Otis going crazy. How has it aged? Watch the Throne now? I don't think so, bro. I don't think that album aged really that well. I think that was a good moment. It was good for the moment. It was good for the time. I don't think it really did much. It didn't do anything for Jay-Z. I don't know if it did much for even Kanye. I just think it was a good moment that they clicked up. That's
Jay was already Jay. It didn't do nothing for Jay.
It didn't do nothing for Jay. It really didn't do nothing for Kanye, but build up his cult of followers, if you want to say that. I don't think that album really means much. Are people running around to No Church in the Wild to Otis today? I know people think Otis is dope.
Yeah.
But are you going in your car and you're playing Otis? Like, is that a casual play for you? I don't think so.
Did you
I don't think Watch the Throne is played like that.
The tour? Like, yeah, people are playing it. Not now, not 13 years later, but at the moment when it mattered, it matters the year that you drop. It don't matter later because later is later. But the year it dropped, were people playing it? Yeah. Now, I made the point is this, right? If people think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a good album, which I've been hearing for years, I don't know how you hear an album with the exact same sonics and the same people and the same producer with the same group of rappers, and you act like there's two different albums.
I think the problem with Watch the Throne is I don't hear Jay-Z. If Jay-Z's doing a performance, is any song from Watch the Throne getting played in the performance? If Kanye does a performance, are any of those songs really being played in a performance? I don't think either one of them. Well, maybe Kanye might do No Church in the Wilds and Niggas in Paris. He might, but I definitely know Jay-Z's not. So, and Kanye's barely probably going to touch on that album because he has other albums that he can pull songs from.
Right,
that was a nice.
one.
I don't think collab albums, if we really want to go there with hip hop, they've never been that dope outside of the Purple Tape. And that's an unofficial collab album. That's not really like that and Iron Man are unofficial. But like there's never been that. Who plays their songs from collab albums? They're for the moment. They're not for the time. They're not no collab albums really been classic outside of the unofficial ones.
I got a different outlook on the way I see this album and how it really played out. I think that this album really solidified Kanye West because he was going bar for bar, verse for verse with Jay-Z. And on a lot of those songs, he outshined Jay-Z. He had the most memorable bars. He really showed that he was his own. He was holding his own on his own with somebody as great as Jay-Z on the album. Like, this is the album that really solidified Kanye as one of those ones. Like, regardless of, regardless of how we looked at him before then, after Watch the Throne, we was like, oh yeah, Kanye is nice. Like, Kanye got some bars. Kanye can hold his own next to Jay-Z. Kanye did a whole album with Jay-Z, produced the album, sounded nice, and had the most memorable bars and most memorable verses from most of the songs on there. Not saying all of them, Leroy, but it definitely solidified Kanye West as a top artist. Really, like you couldn't deny that. You couldn't deny the work that Kanye put in on that album. He wasn't just a producer. He was a rapper rapping next to Jay-Z, and he was outshining Jay-Z on half of the songs.
I knew Kanye could rap before the album, so I didn't think that rapping was going to be a problem for Kanye. As far as his memorable bars, Kanye had memorable bars before the album. So I didn't think memorable bars would be a problem at all.
Yeah, but the thing is that he had memorable bars rapping next to Jay-Z, and he outshined Jay-Z.
He always rapped next to Jay-Z.
And it shows like Jay-Z never really gives his best, quote unquote, on collaborative albums.
Flows than Jay-Z on Watch the Throne. Flow.
No, what I'm saying is Jay-Z never puts his best foot forward. It's like on those verses on
Do you know what Jay's talking about on that album?
No. Let me finish my point. The best of both worlds. Jay-Z never uses his best verses like the R. Kelly. That's not really Jay-Z. Those are throwaway Jay-Z verses. But this Watch the Throne, I think it was I Murdered Excellence, No Church in the Wild was dope. Ninjas in Paris is dope. Is That My Chick is dope. Ham, The Joy produced by Pete was dope.
Love You.
I thought the album was really dope. I like the documentary they put out. They put out a documentary showing the making of it. I like the build up around it. The tour was dope. I still think Kanye shined the most on the album because I think just think about Ninjas in Paris, like the people that the most memorable part is I Would Marry Kate and Ashley. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's Kanye on that. And then you got
pop culture bars, which always are going to be more memorable because
Murdered Excellence, New Crib, watch a movie. Ain't nothing on the news but the blues. You know what I'm saying? Kanye, Murdered Excellence. I think Kanye got off on that. Then you got Gotta Have It, produced by the Neptunes. Is That Your Chick? That's My Chick? You know what I'm saying? I think Kanye really came for it. What Super Duper said. I think the album was solid. I think it holds up.
Yeah, write a verse. Do we know how Kanye
and for Jay-Z, right? Well, Jay-Z before that time was probably the most quotable rapper. And Kanye got the most quotables on that album.
You think
from his verses? He got the most quotables on that album from the verses.
Why Kanye's so quotable? Does anybody know why his verses are quotable? Like, how does Kanye write a verse? Is it him writing alone, or does he pull in some of the greatest rappers while he's writing?
Leroy, but this ain't no time to. You don't got to defend Jay-Z. It just is what it is. If you admitting it right now, just it is what it is. If you even saying that we know why, you must feel the same way. I mean, Kanye got off.
Okay, so Kanye has better flows than Jay on Watch the Throne, but we're gonna look at bars. No Church, New Day, Welcome to the Jungle, Who Gonna Stop Me, Made in America, Prime Time, and Why I Love You. Jay is situational. What he's talking about is real life experiences. He's not making pop culture bars. But you know why pop culture bars are more quotable than Jay's actual experience? Because when you're making pop culture bars, you're reaching for what is popular to talk about. Jay's not talking about what's popular. Jay's talking about this is my life. The two different.
Like I said,
Leroy, I hear what you're saying, but I'll say this:
Kanye, he's not a whack rapper.
Leroy, I'm gonna say this. It sounds like Kanye, right? It sounds like Kanye really, right? Is he's getting credit for even being able to rap next to Hov. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
it's the fact that he was actually able. So you should take that as a credit to Jay-Z. Jay-Z is so nice
is on it.
that the fact that Kanye can go bar for bar
better than
Jay-Z and even outshine him a little bit. It's like, when Allen Iverson crossed Jordan up. It's like, oh my God, that's cute. Allen Iverson ain't Jordan. You know that. Kanye ain't Hov, but again, I don't think that album really means much in the grand scheme of things because
I agree.
Ninjas in Paris and maybe No Church for the Wild, nobody's playing those. Like, I don't hear those songs anymore.
Who's gonna top it in the rap game? Who's gonna top that album?
That collab album?
What duo or what collab? What two rappers are gonna top Watch the Throne?
Well, I think the Drake and Future joint is probably more legendary than Watch the Throne. We just going off that. Like, Jumpman still go kind of crazy. Nobody's I mean, again, collab albums to me aren't really all that because they don't really do anything for either artist. It's just both of them coming together to combine their fans to make a dope moment.
Run the Jewels makes better albums than Watch the Throne. Mad Hatter. Okay.
Let me get the super chat real quick. Lord Vachai says, "Watch the Throne put Hit Boy in the map." That is true. That is indeed true.
Watch the Throne rang off like an atom bomb around the world when they're playing it 10 times in a row, 20 times in a row. And every song was supposed to be in this and in that. Every song was supposed to be starting with the N-word. But that rang off so crazy. Who else do you know got one of those records? Who got a Otis? Who got these records?
But is Otis really that crazy?
I wish there was a Watch the Throne too, but it never happened. It will never happen, but it is what it is. But we got 3 minutes for the show. Closes, guys. We're gonna do a little closing out. Mad Max, what's your final thoughts, man? What you got? I know you wrong. You dead wrong. We're gonna talk about this next week. You're dead wrong. Lotto's album, Mad Max.
Lotto's album was trash.
It was 1 hour and 2 minutes of music.
It was trash.
Ice Spice's music album was 23 minutes.
Ice Spice album was trash, Mad Max. Will you admit that?
Ice Spice album, all right, I'll admit it was trash. But the thing with Ice Spice that I like is that I like her beats. I don't really care for what she's saying on there. I like the beats. Lotto, listen, I heard what Ron was saying earlier. Look, I heard Lotto. I think Lotto's album is Ice Spice album with more songs and worse beats and really no direction. If you really notice, Lotto on the first track on Lotto's album, if you listen to it, she sounds like Drake. The first song on Ice Spice album, Fat Butt, she sounds like Nicki Minaj. They just pick Young Money artists to basically copy their flow off of the whole album.
Mad Max, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, Mad Max. Who can rap better? Who's a better rapper, Lotto or Ice Spice? Let's be for real.
But Lotto can't rap either. They're equal in rapping.
Okay.
They're equal in rapping. You guys get caught up. You guys get caught up in stuff like their quote unquote polished flow. I heard the level of but the problem is like Lotto's bars are just as remedial as Ice Spice. You may like the flow better, and that's cool, but I don't think her voice is better for rapping than Ice Spice. I don't think the beat she's rapping on is better, right?
I
I don't think she makes better songs than Ice Spice.
to give Ice
Like
Spice.
I'm like
Yeah,
I'm listening to it. There's one song in there, Leroy, right? And this is after she done talked about how many times does she suck or get done, beat down by her man, sexually. She says stuff like, I let him he hit it from the back. He never tells me no. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? For real. What are you talking about? Every other line was a sex rap thing, and it's like you, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion, you all rap about the same stuff. Now, you may say Sexy Red raps about the same stuff, but she does it in a different delivery. You may say Ice Spice. I don't think Ice Spice raps about all that, you know, my vagina rap. I think Ice Spice is more of a clueless rapper. She's like an airhead. She does the I'm pretty, my teeth is straight, I got a fat butt, I get money, I'm rich.
Ice Spice, to
F
give
with me.
Ice Spice credit, Ice Spice can be clever at times, and her cadence to go along with the drill, her cadence do be on point with that style of music. And again, sometimes she is clever, because she'll say something that I'm not a fan. Someone else brought this to my attention, but they're like, no, she can be clever at times. So I'll give
She
her a little.
has she has better beats. I just think she's more realistic. I don't even think what Lotto would be saying a lot of times is realistic. It's like,
I think everything I heard from Ice Spice sounds the same. Every
well,
song, it sounds like the same beat, damn near, the same flow, the same everything. Like it's the
Man,
same every time I hear it.
man. Let me get to the super chat real quick before I get to the super chat. Man, Lotto got some realistic lyrics. She talking about she gonna cook for her dude.
she
You know, she
said
gonna,
she said she was gonna cook for her dude after she gave it up, and he go get her some money. Ron, I
shit,
heard the
shit,
album, bro.
shit.
You're not
That's
gonna just
hey, I don't know what
lie
kind
and
of
act like she wasn't
I
doing
don't
that,
know what kind
bro.
of world you living in. That shit realistic to me, B.
That's not
You know,
realistic. I mean,
shit.
but I mean,
It's
I mean,
realistic.
but Lotto, she does the same thing. What's the difference between Lotto, Cardi B, and Meg Thee Stallion?
I think
What's the
Lotto can rap
difference?
better. But let me get to the super chat real quick.
She don't rap better than them.
Jermaine Johnson says Ho performed Paris at the Louis Vuitton show last year, and I can only imagine how much DJs were playing it in Paris over the past 3 weeks during the Olympics. That is true. That record is still
Oh,
bubbling,
yeah,
still bubbling.
Ninjas in Paris is one. Ninjas in Paris and No Church for the Wild. Those are the two joints from there. But I mean, other than that, nobody's playing that album.
All right, so yeah, we'll talk about this next week.
Oh, Ron, one more thing. I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say this. This is for Ice Spice and Lotto. You know what makes like Jay-Z and Biggie, even though they're like have bad content, right? With is like for their albums, respectfully, or Lotto and Ice Spice, where is the storytelling? Like, where is the song where you're telling the story? Why can't we get in a I got a story to tell from Lotto or Ice Spice or one of these chicks where they just talking about how they went to a dude's house and something wild and funny happened, and it's like a cool story. Like, you know how Biggie went back and was like, "Yo, I got the story to tell. I was just at this chick and then this Nick player, right?" Or when Hove, and this is not related to the I got a story to tell, but when Hove was on Reasonable Doubt talking about friend or foe, and he was just very entertaining with the way where he was like, "You're twitching. Don't do that. You're making me nervous." Like the personality where he's describing certain things, where it's in the story.
Right.
Either one of them chicks, if they was really nice, because we can be biased on wherever who we like more or don't. If either one of them was really nice, they could have made a song where they was talking about, yo, I was just at this dude's house,
Oh,
da 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 da.
yeah.
His baby mama came out, yo, such and such happened. I ran out naked, da 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 da, and a hobo was looking at me talking about, do I have food stamps for free
I,
or aliens is
yeah, yeah.
invaded? She could have said whatever. You could have made it a funny story. They don't have that talent. So when you tell me that they're talented rappers, both of them are not really that talented. They may have clever bars if you think that, but they're not that nice, and that's a
You,
problem. Storytelling helps your album.
we got you.
Artists
Max.
learn how to storytell.
We got you.
I mean, but the females that do tell stories like Che and Rhapsody, I mean, they stories are kind of boring, man. They be over dramatic and shit. Like they
But
be
that's because they're just boring. We have to have a
they
balance. You could be
they be over
entertaining
dramatic with
also.
their stories. I
Yeah,
mean,
y'all.
that's it, man. Female rappers are like female comedians, man. Like you just,
Hey, Che
it's
Noir,
hard to listen to.
Che Noir puts a lot of thought, but behind her bars, man. I'll
I,
give her that. It may not
I,
be
But,
storytelling.
I think
but,
Shay and Rhapsody have a voice problem. Their voices aren't that
Okay.
dope.
but man, Max, we gonna tap into that next week, man. We appreciate you, brother. We gonna get into that debate next week, man. But do me a favor, go back and listen to the Lotto, dig deep in it, man. Make some notes, and we'll talk about it next week. And then go back and listen to Ice Spice too, and then compare,
Man,
contrast. Super
you know-
duper.
okay, man.
Hey, man, I got to keep telling y'all, man. My man Killer Mike still got the album of the year. All these albums that dropped this weekend was a dud. And like I said, I don't care if Killer Mike recycles some songs or what. If y'all go back and listen to that album again, it's the only album that I've been playing that I've saved to a playlist that then came out in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
And Killer Mike for fucking president. That's all I got to say.
No doubt. Leroy Green, I'm gonna ask you one question, let you kind of cook up and give your final assessments for the night.
Okay.
You didn't answer my question earlier. You seem to be all in on one person that was raised in Canada that has a different ingredient, but then other people are against another guy that's in hip hop that has a different ingredient that was raised in Canada. It's a very interesting thought process.
Who's the other guy? Are we
with Drake? And then you brought up the
yeah, but if I bring up the other guy, who I think you're talking about, there's a lot of negative things I could say. Today he was talking crazy. He was talking insane. So do you really want me to bring that up? Like, I'm just gonna say, hey man, go with who you feel, man. But there are people do have reputations. Now, if I go into this guy's reputation and you're gonna tell me he's cool with black people, I can go into his reputation to show you that he's not. And I don't think people want me to do that. You know what I mean? So, but a good albums this weekend, for a certain kind of fan, Ultra 85 is that album. If you're a Dilla head, if you're a Kanye head, if you're someone, okay, well, the Logic album may be for you. If you think he's corny, then you think he's corny is not for you. Benny the Butcher, we all agree that the beats and the production are an issue. So we think he can elevate from there. So I think we covered what we needed to cover. No, Ron, I didn't answer your question, but I kind of did, kind of didn't. But I don't know. You got to be specific with me, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that another time. But before we end the show, did y'all see the breaking? Did y'all see the breaking at the Olympics? What y'all think about the breaking at the Olympics? Was it dope? I didn't get a chance to see it.
A little bit.
I didn't see it either, Ron. I didn't see it either.
I think because I don't think they want to televise it. Like, they're showing clips, but they're not showing the full thing. But just as far as our culture goes, like, y'all, like breakdancing, we got to try to bring that back. Now, how it gets brought back, I don't know. But being that it made it to the Olympics, it still exists, and I'm cool with break. Like, I hate to see breakdancing go. So bring it.
I think I'm gonna try it for 2028.
Do that.
But why did they never had dance battles during the Olympics? Why is it breakdancing specifically?
Oh, you know what? That they did kind of briefly explain. Oh no, they explained the process of how they were gonna make it, like what it takes to win. Like, you don't know the beat you're gonna dance to. You can't do the same move twice. There are rules to it. Why they pick breakdancing, I don't know. But I'm happy for any progression that hip hop could make, and I just missed the breakdancing, so I'm glad, But I'm trying to catch the whole round on TV.
Hey, y'all support my move in 2028. I'm gonna go out there and do it, man. I'm gonna break. I'm gonna bring that gold medal home for according to hip hop.
Ron, you sure you want to do that? If you don't win gold, you're gonna be a laughing stock of all of America.
Nah, I'm gonna bring it home, baby. I'm gonna go practice. I'm gonna put some icy hot on my knees and my elbows. We're gonna get it pop.
Steph Curry won the gold for the American team, man. Steph, 4 3-pointers in 2 minutes. Shout out
Steph
to the
Curry had a Kobe Bryant moment.
Steph,
That last minute in that game, that was Kobe 08 stuff.
Shooter.
That was
shooter.
wild.
Greatest shooter. Okay. Curry.
No doubt. Well, yo, this was the Weekend Rhyme, the #1 hip hop weekend podcast in the game. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you send those super chats in. Make sure you should just send the super thanks in. We'll be back on Monday. I made a lot of promises. I got 2 shows coming out that it's on my computer. They're coming next week. The movie episode that's coming next week. I promise. I gotta be up all night to finish the edit. Well, that'll be out next week. Also, we've got the best 25 hip hop videos of all time. That'll be out next week. And then Mike D will be on Monday. And then we got Wednesday. And then we got some interviews coming up. We're going to interview the Nappy Roots coming in a couple weeks. IL Cleveland's own. And we got the Mickey Fax interview coming up. And then we're trying to get the Common and Pete Rock interview as well. And then another interview with Tariq Nasheed. So we're busy. We're busy. Hit us, email us at info@accordinghiphop.com. Let us know who you want us to see interview. And yeah, man, we appreciate you rocking with us, man. We appreciate it every day. Every day we do this. We appreciate you. Shout out to Mad Max, Leroy Green, Super Duper, Mike D. We appreciate you, man. Peace.
Peace out.